What if I told you that the way you're cooking your eggs this morning could be quietly raising your risk of stroke? Not the eggs themselves, but the method, the preparation, the habits you've had for decades that no one ever questioned. I'm Dr. Lucas Bennett, a board-certified physician with over 20 years of experience helping adults over 50 protect their cardiovascular health. And today, I'm going to show you exactly which egg preparation methods are dangerous after 60 and what to do instead. Stay with me, because this information could literally change the course of your health. Here's something most people don't realize. After 60, your cardiovascular system becomes significantly more vulnerable. The arteries that were flexible and resilient in your 30s and 40s have now become stiffer, narrower in some places, and far more reactive to dietary triggers. Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in America and a major cause of long-term disability. I see patients in my practice every single week who did everything they thought was right, eating protein, avoiding processed food, but were unknowingly making one critical mistake at breakfast. The good news is this is completely correctable, but only if you know what to look for. So let me walk you through the 5 most dangerous ways to eat eggs after 60, starting with number 5 and building to the most critical one of all. Number 5, eating eggs cooked in butter or lard every single day. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying butter is poison, but here's what changes after 60. Your liver becomes less efficient at processing saturated fat. When you cook eggs in butter or lard daily, you're adding a significant load of saturated fat on top of the natural fat already present in the yolk. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. Over time, saturated fat contributes to the buildup of plaque along the inner walls, a condition called atherosclerosis. This narrows the passageway, increases blood pressure, and raises the risk of a clot breaking loose and traveling to the brain. That's a stroke. I had a patient named Gerald, a 67-year-old retired contractor. He came to me complaining of occasional dizziness and high blood pressure that wasn't responding well to medication. When I reviewed his diet, he was eating 4 eggs fried in butter every morning, had done it his whole life. We made one simple change, switched to a small amount of olive oil, and reduced his egg count to 2. Within 3 months, his LDL cholesterol dropped noticeably, and his blood pressure began to stabilize. Gerald told me, "I had no idea something so small could make such a difference." Here's what I want you to do. Check what you're cooking your eggs in right now. If it's butter every single morning, consider alternating with extra virgin olive oil, which studies suggest may actually support arterial flexibility. Number 4, eating eggs scrambled with processed cheese and cured meats. This is one of the most common breakfast combinations in America, and after 60, it becomes a serious risk multiplier. Here's why. Processed cheese and cured meats, like bacon, sausage, and ham, are extremely high in sodium. A single serving of processed cheese can contain over 400 milligrams of sodium. A few strips of bacon, another 400 to 500. Add that to eggs, and you're starting your morning with nearly half your recommended daily sodium intake in one sitting. For adults over 60, excess sodium causes the body to retain fluid, which increases blood volume and forces your heart to work harder. That elevated pressure damages the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, and damaged vessel walls are exactly where stroke-causing clots like to form. The practical solution here is straightforward. Keep the eggs. Ditch the processed additions. Season with herbs, a pinch of sea salt, black pepper, or even a small amount of real cheese like feta or goat cheese, which tend to be lower in sodium. Your eggs don't have to be bland. They just have to be smarter. But that's nothing compared to what I'm about to reveal in number 3. This next one catches almost everyone off guard. Number 3, eating eggs that are overcooked or oxidized. This one surprises most of my patients, and I understand why. We've been taught that cooking eggs fully is safer, and for food safety reasons, that's partially true. But here's the cardiovascular side of the story that rarely gets discussed. When egg yolks are exposed to high heat for extended periods, think hard-boiled eggs with that greenish-gray ring around the yolk, or scrambled eggs cooked until rubbery and dry. the cholesterol in the yolk undergoes a chemical change. It becomes what researchers call oxidized cholesterol, or oxystorols. And oxidized cholesterol is significantly more damaging to your arteries than regular dietary cholesterol. Studies suggest it may trigger inflammation in the arterial walls and accelerate plaque formation in ways that fresh, lightly cooked eggs do not. Before I continue, I want to make sure you're getting information like this every week. Thousands of adults over 50 rely on this channel for straight talk health advice. Join them by subscribing and turning on notifications right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it could make a real difference. Now, back to oxidized eggs. The solution is simple. Don't overcook. Soft scrambled, poached, or lightly fried with a runny or barely set yolk preserves the integrity of the nutrients and reduces oxidation risk. If you prefer hard-boiled eggs, avoid the long cooking times that produce that green ring. 8 to 10 minutes in boiling water, then immediately into cold water. That's the sweet spot. Number 2, eating eggs every day without monitoring your overall cholesterol picture. Let me be clear about something. Eggs in moderation are not the enemy for most people. But here's where it gets complicated after 60. A significant portion of older adults, researchers estimate it may be as high as 1 in 4, are what's called hyperresponders to dietary cholesterol. This means their bodies absorb and produce more cholesterol in response to egg consumption than the average person does. And without regular blood work, you have no way of knowing if you're one of them. I had a patient named Dorothy, a 72-year-old retired librarian. She was meticulous about her health, walked every day, ate mostly whole foods, rarely touched processed food, but she ate 2 eggs every morning without exception. When she came in for a routine check, her LDL cholesterol was dangerously elevated. She was shocked. We adjusted her egg intake to 4 or 5 times per week instead of 7, and added more plant-based proteins on the other days. 6 months later, her numbers had improved significantly. I thought I was doing everything right, she said. And in many ways, she was. She just needed this one adjustment. Here's what you need to do. If you're eating eggs daily and you haven't had a lipid panel in the last year, schedule one. Ask your physician specifically about your LDL particle size and your overall cardiovascular risk profile. This information is essential, especially after 60. Knowledge is your most powerful protective tool. Do me a favor. If someone you care about is over 60, share this video with them and subscribe so they see content like this. It could genuinely save their life. Number 1. Eating eggs fried in refined vegetable oils at high heat. This is the most dangerous preparation method on this list, and it's one of the most common. I'm talking about cooking eggs in corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, or generic vegetable oil blends at high frying temperatures. Here's the mechanism, and I want you to understand this clearly. These refined oils are rich in polyunsaturated fats, which are highly unstable when exposed to high heat. When you heat these oils to frying temperature, they undergo a process called lipid peroxidation. Essentially, the fats oxidize and break down into harmful compounds called aldehydes and free radicals. You then consume those compounds along with your eggs. Research indicates these oxidized byproducts promote systemic inflammation, damage the inner lining of your blood vessels, and may contribute directly to the formation of arterial plaques that increase stroke risk. Think of it like this. Imagine pouring slightly degraded, chemically altered oil directly into a garden hose. Over time, that hose is going to clog. That's what's happening in your arteries, slowly and silently. Every time you eat eggs fried in these oils at high heat. I'll never forget a patient named Harold, a 69-year-old former high school coach. He came to me after a minor TIA, what people call a mini-stroke. When we went through his lifestyle, everything looked reasonable on the surface. But his daily breakfast was 2 eggs fried in vegetable oil, high heat, crispy edges. He'd been doing it for 30 years. We can't say with certainty that was the cause, but it was absolutely a contributing risk factor. After switching to poaching or using a small amount of olive oil at lower heat, Harold made that change part of a broader cardiovascular protection plan. He's doing well today. If you're currently frying eggs in refined vegetable oils, this is your sign to stop. Switch to extra virgin olive oil at medium-low heat, avocado oil, or simply use a non-stick pan with no oil at all. These are practical, affordable changes you can make starting tomorrow morning. Now, before I wrap up, I want to say this clearly. This information is for educational purposes only. Every person's health situation is different, and you should always consult your physician before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you have existing cardiovascular conditions or are on medication. Today, we covered 5 egg preparation habits that can raise stroke risk after 60. Number 5, cooking eggs in butter or lard every single day. Number 4, pairing eggs with processed cheese and cured meats loaded with sodium. Number 3, overcooking eggs to the point of cholesterol oxidation. Number 2, eating eggs daily without monitoring your cholesterol response through regular blood work. And number 1, the most dangerous, frying eggs in refined vegetable oils at high heat, which produces harmful oxidized compounds that directly damage your arteries. The key takeaway is this: you have the power to make smarter choices starting with your very next meal. You don't have to give up eggs. You just have to prepare them wisely. Here's what I want you to do today. First, look at what oil or fat you're currently using to cook your eggs and replace refined vegetable oils with extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil immediately. Second, if you're adding bacon, sausage, or processed cheese to your eggs regularly, choose one morning this week to try a different combination: herbs, vegetables, or a small amount of real cheese. Third, call your doctor's office today and schedule a lipid panel if you haven't had one in the past 12 months. That single test could give you life-changing information. Your heart has been working for you every second of your life. It deserves a breakfast that works back. The choices you make at the kitchen stove are not small choices. They are the foundation of your cardiovascular health for the decades ahead. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 surprised you the most? Was it the vegetable oil? The oxidized cholesterol from overcooking? I read every single comment, and your questions help me choose the topics that matter most to this community. I'm Dr. Lucas Bennett. Take care of your health, and I'll see you in the next video.